dear one, your prayers have reached me, every single one of them. Before you pressed play on this message, before you even woke up and started your day, I was already preparing the answer to what you have been asking for. It carries your name on it. What you have been requesting has already been prepared. What you have been crying out for in the secret place of your heart has already been set in motion. The answer you have been waiting for is not somewhere in the distant future, lost in uncertainty and doubt. It is here. It has arrived, and I am the one who brought it to you. This is not an ordinary message. This is not a coincidence that you found yourself listening to these words at this exact moment. Before time began, I knew this day would come. I knew that you would be in exactly the position you are in right now, needing exactly the words I am about to speak. And I orchestrated everything, every step of your journey, every click and scroll and search, to lead you to this divine appointment. You may think you stumbled upon this message by accident, but there are no accidents in my kingdom. Everything is intentional, everything is purposeful, and you being here right now is part of a plan that was set in motion before the foundations of the earth were laid. I know you have been waiting. I know the days have felt long and the nights have stretched on in silence. I know there were moments when you wondered if your prayers were even reaching me, if your words were simply disappearing into the air without ever touching anything eternal. You have asked the same questions that so many of my children have asked throughout the ages. Does God really hear me? Does He see what I am going through? Does He care about the details of my life? Or am I just a small voice in a universe of billions? I want to answer those questions directly and definitively. Yes, yes, and yes. I hear every word you speak. I see every tear you cry. I care about every single detail of your existence, no matter how small or insignificant it might seem to you. But I need you to understand something that will change the way you see everything from this moment forward. Every single prayer you have ever prayed is still alive. Every tear you have ever cried is still speaking. Every whisper you have ever released in faith is still echoing through the corridors of heaven. Nothing you have ever brought to me has been lost, forgotten, or ignored. I have been holding every single request in my hands, waiting for the perfect moment to release the answer into your life. My timing is not like your timing. My ways are not like your ways. What seems like delay to you is actually divine orchestration that you cannot see from where you are standing. You asked me for love, real love. The kind of love that does not abandon you when things get difficult. The kind of love that does not walk away when you reveal the parts of yourself that you have been hiding from everyone else. The kind of love that stays, that fights, that chooses you over and over again, without conditions and without reservations. I heard that prayer. I felt the depth of your longing. I understood that you were not simply asking for a romantic notion or a fleeting emotion. You were asking for something that could anchor your soul, something that could make you feel safe enough to finally let your guard down, something that could remind you that you are worth staying for. You have been hurt before. I know that. I was there when it happened. I saw the moment your heart broke, the moment trust was shattered, the moment you decided that maybe it was safer to keep everyone at a distance. I watched as you built walls around your heart, brick by brick, experience by experience, pain by pain. And while those walls have protected you from some harm, they have also kept out the very thing you have been longing for. They have kept out connection. They have kept out intimacy. They have kept out the deep, soul-level love that your heart was designed to experience. And I want you to know that I have it. I have exactly what you need. The love you have been searching for is not something you have to go out and find on your own. It is not something you have to earn or perform for or manipulate into existence. The love you need has already been secured. It has already been prepared. And it begins with understanding that the greatest love you will ever experience is the love I have for you. My affection for you is the foundation. It is the source. It is the well that never runs dry, the river that never stops flowing, the ocean that has no bottom and no shore. When you receive my love fully, deeply, without reservation, everything else begins to fall into place. I know there is something specific you have been carrying, a burden that feels too heavy to bear alone, a situation that seems impossible to resolve, a relationship that appears beyond repair, a dream that looks completely dead, a hope that has been deferred so long that your heart has grown sick with disappointment. I know about all of it. I see all of it. And I have not turned my face away from any of it. I am fully engaged with every detail of your life, working in ways you cannot see to bring about outcomes you cannot yet imagine. The enemy wants you to believe that I have abandoned you. He wants you to think that your prayers have been hitting a ceiling and falling back down. He wants you to conclude that you are simply not important enough for me to intervene on your behalf. He wants you to give up right before your breakthrough, to quit right before your miracle, to surrender right before your victory. That is his strategy. That is his plan. And he has been executing it with precision, planting thoughts in your mind that feel like your own, but are actually from the pit of hell. But I am exposing his lies right now. I am pulling back the curtain and showing you what is really happening in the spiritual realm. There is a battle being fought over your life. There are forces of darkness that have been assigned to stop you, discourage you, and defeat you. But there are also forces of light, armies of heaven, angels of power that have been assigned to protect you, encourage you, and lead you to victory. And the forces of light are stronger. The armies of heaven are more numerous. The angels of power are more than equipped to handle anything the enemy throws at you. You are not fighting alone. You have never been fighting alone. Even in your loneliest moments, when you felt completely isolated and abandoned, heaven was actively engaged on your behalf. Prayers were being answered that you did not even know had been prayed. Doors were being opened that you did not even know were closed. Enemies were being defeated that you did not even know were fighting against you. I have been working behind the scenes of your life every single day, every single hour, every single minute. And the evidence of that work is about to become visible in ways that will leave you speechless with gratitude. I want you to release something right now. I want you to release the tension you have been carrying in your body, the tightness in your shoulders, the clenching in your jaw, the knot in your stomach, the heaviness in your chest. These physical manifestations of anxiety have been accumulating for so long that you have almost forgotten what it feels like to be relaxed. But I am inviting you to let go. Let go of the need to control everything. Let go of the fear that everything will fall apart if you stop holding it together. Let go of the belief that your vigilance is what keeps disaster at bay. I am in control, not you. I am sovereign over your life, not you. I am the one who sustains the universe by the word of my power, not you. You were never meant to carry the weight of the world on your shoulders. You were never designed to be responsible for outcomes that are beyond your ability to influence. You were never created to live in a constant state of high alert, scanning the horizon for threats, bracing yourself for impact, preparing for the worst. You were created to live in partnership with me, doing your part while trusting me to do mine, working diligently while resting in my sovereignty. When you try to control everything, you are actually acting like I do not exist. You are living as if you are the only one who can make things work out. You are behaving as if the outcome depends entirely on your effort, your wisdom, your strength. But that is a lie. That is the original lie, actually. The serpent told Eve that she could be like God, that she could know what I know, that she could control what I control. And humanity has been exhausted ever since, trying to play a role they were never designed to play. I am inviting you back into rest. Not laziness, not passivity, not irresponsibility. Rest. The kind of rest that comes from doing everything you can do and then trusting me to do everything you cannot do. The kind of rest that comes from working with all your might during the day and then sleeping peacefully because you know I am watching over you. The kind of rest that comes from making your plans while holding them loosely, knowing that I may redirect you at any moment towards something better than what you originally planned. This is what it means to sit at my side. It means you stop striving, you stop performing, you stop trying to earn what has already been given freely. You simply position yourself in my presence and let me do the heavy lifting. You simply open your heart to receive what I have been wanting to give you all along. You simply say yes to the invitation I have been extending to you for years, the invitation to come and rest, to come and receive, to come and be loved without having to do anything to deserve it. I have so much more I want to give you. So much more than you have been asking for. So much more than you have allowed yourself to imagine. Your requests have been too small, not because you are greedy for asking, but because you have underestimated my generosity. You have been asking for crumbs when I want to give you a banquet. You have been asking for leftovers when I have prepared a feast. You have been asking for just enough to get by when I have abundance stored up with your name on it. This is not prosperity gospel manipulation. This is not a promise that you will become rich if you just believe hard enough. This is a statement about my nature, about who I am at my core. I am a generous God. I am an abundant God. I am a God who delights in blessing my children with good gifts. The blessings may not always look like what the world defines as success. The abundance may not always be measured in financial terms. But when you align yourself with my will and position yourself in my presence, you will experience provision, protection, and purpose that far exceeds anything the world could offer. What specifically are you waiting for right now? What is the thing that keeps you up at night? What is the request that has been on your lips more than any other? I want you to name it, not because I do not already know, but because there is power in specificity. There is power in identifying exactly what you need instead of praying vague, generic prayers that lack focus and intention. I want you to tell me what you want, clearly and directly, without apologizing for the boldness of your request. Maybe you are waiting for healing. Physical healing for a body that has been broken by disease or injury or chronic pain. Maybe you have been to doctors who gave you bad news. Maybe you have been through treatments that did not work. Maybe you have reached a point where medical science has thrown up its hands and said there is nothing more they can do. I want you to know that my healing power is not limited by medical science. What is impossible with human doctors is possible with me. I can repair what is broken. I can restore what has deteriorated. I can regenerate what has been destroyed. Nothing in your body is beyond my ability to heal. Or maybe you are waiting for emotional healing. Healing for a heart that has been shattered by betrayal, abandonment, or abuse. Maybe you are carrying wounds that go back to your childhood. Wounds that were inflicted by people who should have protected you, but instead became the source of your deepest pain. Maybe you have tried therapy, tried medication, tried every coping mechanism you could find, and you still feel like that broken little child inside, desperate for someone to make it better. I can heal those wounds. I can reach back into your past and bring restoration to places that have never experienced my touch. I can set you free from patterns of pain that have defined your entire life. Maybe you are waiting for reconciliation, a relationship that has been damaged, perhaps destroyed, a family member you have not spoken to in years, a friend who became an enemy through a misunderstanding that spiraled out of control, a spouse who walked away, or a child who cut off contact, or a parent who never gave you the love you needed. I am the God of reconciliation. I specialize in bringing together what has been torn apart. I know exactly what needs to happen for that relationship to be restored, and I am working on hearts that you cannot see, softening what is hard, breaking down what is fortified, preparing the way for reunion. Maybe you are waiting for direction. You feel lost, uncertain about which way to go, paralyzed by options that all seem equally viable or equally terrifying. You have been waiting for a sign, a word, a clear indication of what I want you to do with your life. I hear that prayer. I see that confusion. And I want to assure you that I will not leave you wandering in uncertainty forever. I am a God who guides my children. I am a God who speaks to those who are listening. I am a God who makes paths straight for those who acknowledge me in all their ways. Keep listening. Keep seeking. Keep asking. The direction will come. Maybe you are waiting for provision, financial breakthrough that will relieve the pressure you have been living under, a job that pays enough to cover your bills with something left over, a business that finally starts generating the income you need, an unexpected windfall that solves problems you did not know how to solve on your own. I am Jehovah Jireh, the God who provides. I know what you need before you ask. I have resources you know nothing about. I have connections you have not yet made. I have opportunities that have not yet appeared on your radar. Your provision is coming. It is already on its way. Whatever you are waiting for, I want you to know that the waiting is almost over. Not because I am finally giving in to your persistence. Not because you have finally worn me down with your asking. The waiting is almost over because the timing is right. Everything I have been putting in place behind the scenes is now ready to be revealed. The preparation season is coming to a close, and the manifestation season is about to begin. You are on the edge of something significant, something life-changing, something that will divide your story into before and after. I want to give you a glimpse of what has been happening while you have been waiting. You have seen the struggle. You have felt the pain. You have experienced the confusion and the uncertainty. But you have not seen what I have been doing in the spiritual realm. You have not witnessed the angels I have dispatched on your behalf. You have not observed the doors I have been preparing to open. You have not seen the hearts I have been softening, the circumstances I have been aligning, the details I have been arranging. All of this has been happening simultaneously with your struggle. While you were crying, I was working. While you were doubting, I was preparing. While you were wondering if anything would ever change, I was setting into motion the very change you were hoping for. This is the mystery of my timing. It often feels like nothing is happening when actually everything is happening. It feels like I am silent when actually I am speaking in ways you cannot hear. It feels like I am distant when actually I am closer than I have ever been, working in dimensions you cannot perceive, moving in realms you cannot access, arranging things in places you cannot see. My activity does not depend on your awareness of it. I am always working, whether you feel it or not, whether you see evidence of it or not, whether you understand it or not. So when I tell you that the waiting is almost over, I am not speaking hypothetically. I am not offering you false hope to make you feel better temporarily. I am telling you the reality of what is happening in the spiritual realm. The preparations are complete. The stage is set. The timing is right. And the curtain is about to rise on a new act of your story. An act that will astound you with its beauty, its provision, its restoration, and its transformation. I want you to start expecting, not hoping vaguely that something might happen someday. Expecting. Actively anticipating that what I have promised is about to show up in your life. Expectation is not the same as presumption. I am not talking about demanding that I do things on your timeline or in your way. I am talking about living with an alert awareness that breakthrough is imminent, that at any moment the answer could arrive, that the very next phone call could be the one that changes everything. This kind of expectation changes how you live. It changes how you wake up. It changes how you pray. It changes how you treat the people around you. It changes how you view your circumstances. When you are truly expecting something good from me, you cannot stay stuck in despair. You cannot remain trapped in hopelessness. You cannot continue operating from a place of defeat. Expectation lifts your eyes from the ground to the horizon. Expectation puts a spring in your step and a song in your heart. Expectation is the substance of faith, the evidence of things not seen. Let me tell you why I upgrade your requests. It is not because your original prayers were wrong or insufficient. It is because I can see what you cannot see. I can see the full picture of your life, the complete trajectory of your destiny, the total scope of what I have planned for you. And from that vantage point, I know that what you are asking for, while good, is actually smaller than what you need. You are asking based on your limited understanding of what is possible. I am answering based on my unlimited understanding of what is available. When a child asks their parent for a toy, a good parent might give them the toy. But they might also see that what the child really needs is education, nourishment, guidance, and love. The toy satisfies a momentary desire, but the deeper gifts satisfy lifelong needs. I am that kind of parent to you. I hear your immediate requests, and I respond to them. But I also see your deeper needs, your lasting requirements, your eternal purpose. And I answer in a way that addresses both the surface and the substance. This is why sometimes my answers look different than you expected. This is why sometimes my timeline seems longer than you wanted. This is why sometimes my methods confuse you. I am not just trying to give you what you asked for. I am trying to give you what you need, what will truly satisfy you, what will genuinely transform your life. And that kind of giving requires wisdom that sees beyond the moment into eternity. So trust me when my answers surprise you. Trust me when the package does not look like what you imagined. Trust me when the delivery route seems roundabout and unusual. I know what I am doing. I have been doing this since before time began. And I have never once failed to deliver exactly what was needed, exactly when it was needed. Your answer is not an exception to that perfect track record. Your answer will arrive, and it will be everything you need and more than you asked for. There is no noise, no rushing, no pressure, just stillness. just peace, just the awareness that you are exactly where you are supposed to be. This is what I am offering you. Not just a destination to arrive at someday, but a way of living right now. A way of experiencing each moment with calm instead of chaos, with trust instead of terror, with hope instead of hopelessness. You have been living in survival mode for so long that you have forgotten what it feels like to thrive. You have been in crisis management for so many years that you have forgotten what it feels like to rest. You have been fighting battles on every front for so long that you have forgotten what it feels like to have peace on any front. But I am changing that, starting right now. Starting with these words you are hearing. I am teaching you a new way to live, a new way to breathe, a new way to exist in a world that is constantly trying to steal your peace. This new way is not complicated. It does not require special training or advanced spirituality. It simply requires you to believe that I am who I say I am, that I will do what I say I will do, and that I love you with a love that cannot be measured or explained. When you believe those things, really believe them deep in your soul, everything else begins to shift. Anxiety loosens its grip. Fear loses its power. Hope begins to rise. And peace, the supernatural peace that only I can give, begins to fill every corner of your being. Consider my servant Hannah. She was barren, mocked by others, her deepest wound constantly exposed. Year after year she prayed for a child while watching others receive what she longed for. One day she poured out her heart to me with such intensity that the priest thought she was drunk, and I heard her. I gave her Samuel, who became one of the greatest prophets in history. What I am about to give you is not ordinary either. It will exceed your expectations and impact others in ways you cannot yet imagine. What am I saying to you through this story? I am saying that what I am preparing for you is not small. The answer to your prayers is not just going to meet your immediate need. It is going to have ripple effects that extend far beyond what you can currently imagine. When I finally release what I have been holding, it will be worth every moment of waiting. The delay made room for something bigger than what you originally asked for. I am going to upgrade your request, just as I did for Hannah. What you have been asking for is coming, but it is coming in an upgraded form. You asked for enough. I am giving you abundance. You asked for relief. I am giving you restoration. You asked for a door to open. I am giving you a whole new pathway that you did not even know existed. You asked for survival. I am giving you thriving. You asked for a temporary solution. I am giving you a permanent transformation. This is who I am. This is what I do. I am the God who does exceedingly abundantly above all you could ask or imagine. Let me describe this love to you so you can begin to comprehend its magnitude. My love for you started before you were born. It started before your parents met. It started before the foundations of the world were laid. Before there was a sun to give light or stars to fill the sky, before there were mountains or oceans or fields of grass, I loved you. I knew you. I saw you. And I chose you. This was not an afterthought. This was not a decision I made when I realized I needed to populate the earth with people. You were specifically and intentionally designed in my mind before anything else existed. You were the reason I created everything else. I also heard you ask for patience. You did not use that exact word, but I knew what you meant. You were tired of feeling rushed, pressured, overwhelmed by the pace of everything around you. You were exhausted from trying to keep up with expectations that seemed impossible to meet. You were frustrated with yourself for not being further along than you are, for not having accomplished more, for not being the person you thought you would be by now. And in the quiet of your heart, you were asking me for the grace to slow down, to breathe, to trust that you do not have to have everything figured out right now. The world has told you that you need to hurry. The world has told you that success is measured by how quickly you achieve your goals, how much you accumulate, how many milestones you hit by certain ages. The world has created a timeline that everyone is supposed to follow, and if you fall behind that timeline, there must be something wrong with you. But I want to tell you something that contradicts everything the world has been whispering in your ear. My timeline is different. My expectations are different. And my definition of success has nothing to do with speed. I have that patience for you too. I have the patience you need, both the patience to extend to yourself and the patience to receive from me. I am not in a hurry with your life. I am not tapping my foot impatiently, waiting for you to finally get it together. I am not comparing you to anyone else or measuring your progress against some impossible standard. I see exactly where you are, and I am completely at peace with your journey. I know the end from the beginning. I know every twist and turn that will lead you to your destination, and I can tell you with absolute certainty that you are not behind. You are not late. You are not failing. You are exactly where you need to be, learning exactly what you need to learn, becoming exactly who you need to become. You asked me for understanding. You did not want someone to fix you or advise you or tell you what you should do differently. You wanted someone to simply understand. You wanted someone who could look at your situation and truly grasp how hard it has been. You wanted someone who could feel the weight of what you have been carrying without minimizing it or dismissing it or comparing it to something else. You wanted someone who could say, "I understand," and actually mean it. You have been to people before seeking this understanding, and you have been disappointed. They listened for a few minutes and then started offering solutions you had already tried. They compared your pain to their own experiences, making you feel like you had no right to struggle since others have it worse. They told you to pray more, trust more, believe more, as if your faith was the problem rather than your circumstances. They meant well, but they left you feeling more alone than when you started. And eventually you stopped sharing. You stopped reaching out. You kept everything inside because it felt safer than being misunderstood one more time. My child, I understand. I understand in ways that no human being ever could. I understand the complexity of your emotions, the layers of your pain, the history that brought you to this moment. I understand why you react the way you do, why certain things trigger you, why some wounds still feel fresh even after all these years. I understand the battles you are fighting that no one else can see, the thoughts that keep you awake, the fears that grip your heart when you think about the future. I understand the pressure you feel to be strong when inside you are falling apart. I understand the loneliness that can exist even when you are surrounded by people. I understand all of it, and I do not judge you for any of it. Come and sit with me. Right now, in this very moment, I am inviting you to come and sit at my side. Not to do anything, not to perform anything, not to prove anything. Just to be with me, just to rest in my presence. Just to let me wrap my arms around you and remind you that you are not alone. This is what you have been needing more than anything else. Not more activity, not more striving, not more effort. You need presence. You need connection. You need the kind of companionship that can only come from spending time with the one who knows you completely and loves you unconditionally. When was the last time you simply sat in stillness? When was the last time you turned off the noise, put down the phone, closed the laptop, and just existed without an agenda? When was the last time you gave yourself permission to stop producing, stop achieving, stop fixing, and just be? I know the answer, and I know it has been too long. You have been running on empty for months, maybe years. You have been giving and giving and giving, without ever taking time to receive. You have been pouring out without ever being refilled. And you wonder why you feel so depleted, so exhausted, so far from the vibrant person you used to be. When you sit with me, something happens that cannot happen anywhere else. The noise begins to quiet. The chaos begins to settle. The anxiety that has been churning in your stomach begins to release its grip. The thoughts that have been racing through your mind begin to slow down. The tension that has been building in your body begins to melt away. This is not something you have to manufacture or force. It is simply what happens when you position yourself in my presence. My presence is peace. My presence is healing. My presence is restoration. And I am inviting you to experience it right now. I know you have been trying to fix things on your own. I know you have been researching and strategizing and planning and working overtime to make something happen. I know you have been exhausting yourself with effort, believing that if you just try a little harder, push a little further, sacrifice a little more, everything will finally come together. But I want to tell you something that might be difficult to hear at first, but will ultimately set you free. Some things cannot be fixed by your effort. Some things can only be changed by my intervention. Some things require you to stop striving and start trusting, to stop pushing and start resting, to stop trying to make it happen and start letting me do what only I can do. Think about the most impossible situation in your life right now, the one that keeps you up at night, the one that seems to have no solution no matter how many angles you approach it from, the one that makes your chest tight just thinking about it. Now I want you to consider something. Have you actually surrendered that situation to me? Or have you been holding on to it, trying to manage it, attempting to control it while simultaneously asking me to help? Now walk in it, live in it, rest in it, and watch me do more than you could ever ask or imagine. Amen. If this message touched your heart and spoke directly to your situation, take a moment to share with someone who needs to hear these words. There is someone in your life who is going through exactly what you have been going through. Someone who needs to know that God sees them and has not forgotten them. Type Amen in the comments to receive this blessing and to declare that you believe what God has spoken over your life. Subscribe to this channel and turn on notifications so you never miss a message that could change your life. God has more to say to you, and this is just the beginning of what He wants to do in your heart. Remember, you are loved, you are chosen, and your breakthrough has already been released from heaven.